What's up, everyone? Today we're breaking down one of the most interesting compact knives I've handled recently. This is the Knafs Lander 3, and the title says it all. If you're looking for a knife on the smaller size, this guy should definitely be on your radar. Truly one of the most customizable knives out there, this little fella packs a big punch in a really small package. That said, this thing has its few quirks. It's very small, it's a bit pricey, but the action is killer. Should you make the Knafs Lander 3 your next pickup? Sit back and let's check it out. What is a Knafs Lander 3? It's a compact, everyday carry folder designed to be just big enough to handle real cutting tasks, but small enough that it still disappears in your pocket. On paper, it seems like the perfect blend of practicality and minimalism. Right out of the box, you get this sense that this is very well thought out. It feels sturdier in hand than a lot more compact knives I've reviewed. The ergonomics are clean, nothing sticks out at you as a design afterthought, and every angle feels intentional. This is not a giant, intimidating blade. It's not going to replace your full-size work knife. It's meant to be your go-to pocket blade for everyday tasks, from opening packages to cutting cordage or even prepping a snack. On to the numbers because they matter. This is a small knife, no mistake about it, coming in just 3.6 inches when closed and just 6.37 inches fully open. This is absolutely a compact user. I have a Kaiser drop bear here just for comparison, and you can see that the drop bear features about a ½ inch more in the handle and about the same in the blade. The blade here is 2.75 inches, so this should be legal in most places with restrictions on blades over 3 inches. The steel that Knafs chose here is S35VN, which is definitely more on the premium side, so this should be able to perform pretty strongly. The G10 handle is compact, ergonomic, and clean with no sharp corners. It's just big enough for a secure grip without feeling bulky. And due to the curve of this handle, it's actually rather comfortable in hand despite the really small size. And speaking of size, this is where the Lander 3 really shines and also where some people will hesitate. It's small enough that it almost entirely disappears in the pocket. You almost forget it's there until you need it. This is even more true with a deep carry clip that comes standard, yet I actually snagged this one secondhand and it came with this titanium pocket clip. And though not deep carry as the factory one might have been, this one looks a little bit classier, so no complaints here. I will say that that compact footprint means your fingers are almost squished to get a full 4-finger grip. If you have hands bigger than mine, which is probably most of you, this might be a 3-finger grip knife, and that is a trade-off. We'll cover more of that later. But overall, it's a thoughtfully sized knife that's really easy to carry and great for daily tasks. So for a knife with a crossbar lock, how is the action? Surprisingly enough, it flips ridiculously well. It has a really satisfying smoothness paired with solid detent, and even though it's small, it still feels lively and snappy when deployed. There's no grit, there's no sticky blade play or motion, and I will say it is worth noting that there is a little bit of play when the knife is closed. You might be able to hear it. I can't pull it out, but it is kind of loose here. Even with a forceful flip, I can't get the knife to deploy, so the detent is good, but it's still just an annoying little thing. If you love knives that deploy quickly with authority and have a smooth, fidgety action, this one delivers. I wouldn't say the action is as smooth as my Kershaw Bel Air or my Kaiser Drop Bear, but it's not too terribly far behind. Now we gotta compare it to some direct competition. The Lander 3 is currently around the $130 mark, so we have our fair share of competitors to pit it against to at this price. Let's first start with the Kaiser Drop Bear. The Drop Bear is another compact folder that's found a fan base because it's tough, well-performing, and features some of the smoothest action out there. You can pick up the Drop Bear for around the $100 mark, specifically this version, but they often fall closer to the $90 range. So on paper, the Lander 3 is about $25 to $30 more. What are you getting with that extra amount? First off, the Lander 3 features a superior steel in S35VN compared to 154CM. But outside of the steel choice, I think the Drop Bear edges it out in every other category. Both feature a crossbar lock, with the action of the Drop Bear again just edging out the Lander 3. Then we come to comfort, and the Drop Bear wins again. Due to the larger footprint, the Drop Bear is much more comfortable in hand, and I would reach for it every time over the Lander 3. I would give the Lander 3 some points for being a little bit easier to carry, as it's more discreet and comfortable due to its size, but that's probably about it. So now let's talk about the Kershaw Bel Air. The Bel Air is another crossbar lock knife that sits in a similar price range, currently around $130, so pretty dead on with the Lander 3. Comparing the Lander 3 to the Bel Air, in my opinion, almost feels unfair. Please keep this in mind, this is all personal opinion, but the Bel Air just seems to provide so much more value than the Lander 3. Compared to the Bel Air, the Lander 3 feels cheap. The materials on the Bel Air are nicer. Aluminum scales versus G10. The action is also better on the Bel Air. The Bel Air also has superior steel and magna cut compared to the S35 VM. Finally, the Bel Air is American made. Overall, I just find the Lander 3 lacking compared to its competition. For knives that are very similar in price, you can get better materials, better action, and higher end steel. It just makes the Lander 3 a hard choice to recommend. Time for the real talk. No knife is perfect. So what are some things I dislike about the Lander 3? The first con right off the top is the size. This knife is small, really small, and that is both the point and the drawback. If you have larger hands or if you're used to full-size folders, this will feel cramped. It's just not made for heavy-duty tasks. It's a dedicated everyday tool, not a utility workhorse. If you need to open heavy boxes, slice through dense material, or do lots of long cutting jobs, this might not be your best choice. Second big con for me is the price. This is not a budget knife. You're paying for refinement, good steel, smooth action, and that premium carry experience. But some people are going to look at the price and think, why would I pay that for this tiny knife? And I get it. If you only care about cost per cutting inch, this is not going to win any race. Also, looking at its competitors around the same price, it doesn't seem like the value is there. In my opinion, this should be around the $90 mark, and having it around the $130 mark currently seems pretty excessive to me. So yes, price and size are two valid concerns. Other than that, I don't really have any other criticisms. So who should consider the Knafs Lander 3? This is for somebody who values an enjoyable carry experience above all. Somebody who wants a premium compact folder with fun action and a large back catalog of aftermarket scales and parts. If you're a collector or EDC enthusiast who likes things that just feel right, this is a great pick. If you're new to knives and want something that is easy to pocket and easy to use without feeling cheap, this is a great pick, though a tad on the pricey side. If you want a tough, all-day work blade and you favor size over refinement, you might want to look at something a little bit bigger. So final thoughts. The Knafs Lander 3 is absolutely the compact knife you did not know you needed. If you value smooth action, premium feel, and everyday comfort. It's small, yes, but that has also the charm. It disappears in your pocket while still being ready to slice, open, cut, and serve as your go-to tool for daily chores. If you want a refined, compact blade, this delivers. If you want a brute, rugged size for heavy work, I would probably look elsewhere. This is my take on the Knafs Lander 3. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you into compact knives like this, or do you prefer bigger, larger blades? If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more everyday reviews and breakdowns, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one.